Hi all, John from Harleford Golf Club here. Second video from Lockdown 2.0. Hopefully the last one. I'd much rather be coaching you all in person rather than doing it through from my phone. But needs must, and hopefully the information that I gave you in the last video is going to help you, give you something to think about moving forward, as this will today. And this is all to do with the low point of the swing, what the club does at the point of impact, why it's so important, and what people tend to do when they get it wrong. Now, I assume you probably mostly watched the Masters last week, and you generally know that in professional golf, when the ball is on the floor and you're hitting an iron, we hit the ball and then the turf, which is why you see the guys take great big divots after the ball on the TV. Now, I don't know about you, but personally, I've caught it heavy numerous times, unfortunately, which is when we catch the ground before the ball. I've also caught the odd one thin as well, which is when you catch no ground whatsoever, and you catch the ball kind of halfway up on the equator. Neither one is going to equate to a good golf shot. And I would say that the main reason for people misstriking the ball is to do with weight transference, not getting through the ball, people trying to help the ball up in the air. That's a really common one. You know, the ball's on the floor, we want to get the ball up, so how are we going to do that? We're going to, try and hit the ball that way. Now, the second you do that, the lowest point of your swing changes. Now, if you imagine this is the way the club moves, so as it comes up, starts on the ground, it comes up, back down and up again, and it creates an arc. That arc is also sort of slightly rounded, so it starts here and it comes around us slightly, back down and around us. So 3D, you can expect to see this kind of movement with the club head if I ever put you on a camera. And the lowest point, or the apex here of this bend, should be absolute minimum really of where the ball is when we're hitting an iron. Different for wood, that's another day. But for an iron, if that apex is before the ball, we risk bottoming out early, catching the ground first, hitting it fat, or potentially if my fist is the ball and you've come down too early, you might then catch it on the way back up again and you might thin it. So you're going to have strike issues. We want this apex, as I said, to be either where the bottom of the ball is, if not slightly ahead of the ball, which is why you see the guys hitting ball first, then turf afterwards, because we're actually catching the ball on the way down. As I said, it's different with a driver especially, not so much with an iron, it doesn't change hugely. But when I see you on the TrackMan figures, I'm going to see either a negative angle of attack or at least a 0.0 angle, which basically means negative, the club is still traveling downwards as I make contact with the ball. How am I going to do that? And as I said a second ago, the most common fault is people trying to help the ball up in the air. So I see people sort of hitting from back here. You look at the shape of my body, everything's leaning this way, and I'm going to end up bottoming out way back here, okay? It might give me the sensation that I'm going to hit the ball up, but in reality, I'm probably just going to take a lump of earth first and not hit the ball as cleanly as I would like. Now, everybody's different. You look at DJ winning last week in emphatic style. The way he hits the ball, he kind of clips the ball off the turf. He doesn't really have too much of a downward angle of attack. Some guys do. As I said, the key is that they don't bottom out first. Now, for us to move that strike forward, a really good drill is if you get yourself just a couple of golf balls and imagine that you're going to set up in the middle of the two of them. So you're not actually going to hit a ball at all. And all I'm going to try and do is strike the mat anywhere from here through till here. Now it might take you a few goes because you might start striking it over here, you might strike it too far in front. But once you've done it a couple of times, you start to get a feel for where the ground is. Now, I'm not thinking too technically here. All I want to do is hit the ground in that spot. And for me, when I actually analyse how I've done that, I felt my weight going forwards, and that's a big one, okay? My body weight doesn't stay still and it doesn't move back. I actually move that way. And that's going to help bring the lowest point of your swing forwards. Obviously, if you go too far, I've hit the ground over here somewhere, that's not going to do me any favours either. Plus, I might have to start walking after it, which I don't really want to do. Practice hitting the floor in the right spot. As I said, technique-wise, there's plenty of things that I can work on with you to enable you to do that. But generally, give that one a go. A little bit of a drill first. Get used to hitting the ground in front of the ball and improve your strike.